Maybe a new one.
Still says upcoming.
Joe, we're live. We're definitely live.
Okay. Oh yeah, there we go. Live. Okay.
Let me set this up. I gotta get us both out of here though. Let me get
So back
you.
of your head.
I don't want the back of my head. I just want yours. There we go. Who knows?
Can you turn up my volume?
Yeah. Hold on. Hold on. There you are. That's better.
Okay.
You hear it now? Yeah, settings. Okay, hello. I don't think anybody's looking right now, so we can do our thing. General. I just want to do general. Landscape. We'll landscape you and me. I don't know what the hell the problem is here. Nope. I don't know what I'm doing here. There you are. There you are. No. Add the stage. Okay. Cancel. There you are. I don't know what's going on. Okay, we got some people. We're back. Spartacus, we're back. We're trying to, you got my head. I don't know what I'm doing here. Hey, I've been working hard on this thing. Here we go. It's bigger. There's Joe. Sorry, we're back. I apologize. I don't know what happened. I don't think they want us to talk. We were on fire, weren't we, Joe?
We were, absolutely.
I mean, Joe, I think you're louder. I think I can hear you now. I can't believe this. This was like crazy. Either way, where were we? Okay, let's come back to this. And hopefully we can bring some people back. I think we love you, Spartacus. We don't give up. They're stopping us, baby. They're after us. They are after us. I'm convinced it's the deep state. Either way, we're sorry. We had so many people watching. It was such a bummer. They can't stop us. Let's get back to it. So the economy, let me just get back to where we were. The economy is really bad. I'm sorry, starting to get bad. As the economy gets worse, who is making the money right now? Who is making the money right now? It's the rich people. It's the guys. I got to get back into my whatever.
Right, Elon is making the money.
He's making the money. Look what's happening here. We've got the farmers getting handled. I'm going to go back to kind of where we were before. The farmers had all these investments. They were going to be building. They were going to be growing more food, doing everything. So what happens? Our farmers are now in trouble in the Midwest. Our farmers can't sell their food around the world. Why? Because of the tariffs. But who cares, right? It doesn't matter, right? Does it not matter? Our farmers are our food. They can't sell around the world because of these incredible tariffs that the Trump administration has put on. Who else is getting hurt? Our small businesses. Our small businesses, which only have one supply line or two supply lines, they're out there hustling, trying to get as much in as they can to sell. But the tariffs are just going to keep hitting them more and more and more. And where do we stand as we go forward? We're in trouble. Why? Because inflation's starting to go up. And what's showing that? Look at the bonds. Look at the bond market. The interest rates are going up. Interest rates are going up not because things are going great. Interest rates are going up because people don't want to buy our bonds anymore. So let's take a step back and see where we were. Why wouldn't people want to buy our bonds? Because we are not friends with the rest of the world. Recently, as you can see, President Trump just decided he's going to hit Europe with 50% tariffs. So if you're looking at tariffs, it's 50%, which means half the price. So if you're paying $1,000 for something, it's going to be an extra $500. If you're paying $10,000, it's an extra $5,000. Think about that. It would be 15 grand. So we have that going on. At the same time, remember Tony asked us that question, Joe. I want to put it back on here. Why do we have, God, look at that bum there. Look, why do we have these issues? Look, I need a little something back there. Why do we have these issues? Why aren't we selling to Europe? Well, let's use cars as an example, as we said before. They don't use trucks there in the cities. They don't use trucks in the little towns. They got small trucks. They got small cars. We don't sell small cars. We don't do any of that stuff. What do? We sell the big stuff, which is where the action is. How about Small Business Administration? Has anybody heard about the problems the Small Business Administration has had? Not being able to give loans. People have been going to the SBA trying to get more loans. They're not able to do it because the money's not there. How about the wages? Are your wages going up? And let me ask you this. Have you been able to buy a house recently? No houses. There's starting to be some houses out there, but how are you going to pay over 7% mortgage interest rate for a house? How are you going to do that? Very hard to do. I mean, you can do it, but if your wages aren't going up or you don't have a job, you're not going to be able to do it. So as we look at all this and then take another step forward, Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, which are really the engines behind our housing market, well, guess who wants to sell them? It looks like Donald Trump. And his guys will make a whole lot of money there. So what's happening? Who's making the money? Let's talk about this. Who's making the money? Are the farmers making money? No. Are most Americans making more money? No. Are small businesses making more money? No. How about the layoffs? You got companies like Booz Allen. You have other groups. Booz Allen just laid off 7,000 people. Are they making money? No. They take a while to come into the numbers. How about sofas? There was a big article about housewares. How housewares are going up in value. I'm sorry, in cost. Sofas, all that going up in cost. But wages are not going up. But going up. But who's making money? Private equity is making money because private equity is making loans to everybody. Private equity is out there buying all the properties. Private equity is out there buying into all the big corporations, and those guys are making real cash. And all of a sudden,
explain what private equity is.
Private equity, which is private, but it's not banks. It's like big mutual funds, or not big mutual funds, like Blackstone, like these guys that have billions of dollars and they invest in property. Investors. And they go, right. And what they do is people go to them for loans. So they have a whole bunch of loans that they make to people you don't know, to companies you don't know. And what these companies are trying to do now, private equity, is sell those, is to get regular people like whoever buys stocks or anyone to buy into their private equity so that people then start buying into all these local companies, or not local, these companies that they invest in. How are you going to know how good these companies are if the private equity's buying it? Are they going to tell you the best companies to invest in? I wonder what their duty is. Is there duty to their investors, or is there a duty to their stockholders, or is there duty to themselves to make the money? How do you know? How do you know you're going to be getting the best investment? But the point about it is that they're going to make the money. Who else is going to make the money? The Trump family, the president. The president had all this money he made with the meme coins. I like the point you made, Joe. We just had a big dinner at Mar-a-Lago with the worst looking food I've ever seen. I said it before and I'm saying it again. Horrible. It didn't look good. It doesn't mean it's not good. It sure didn't look good. The picture didn't look good. Let's put it that way. But these people were mostly foreigners, and these were foreign people. America first is America last. This was some Chinese people, some others out there, foreign people who bought his meme coins, paid millions of dollars to sit down with Trump, and Trump makes big money on this because his companies make money on the transactions as it starts rolling.
Is that legal? I mean, I thought president was not allowed to profit from being president. I thought that was law.
According to the Constitution, presidents are not supposed to get, it's called the emollients clause, are not supposed to get gifts from foreign kings and princes and everything.
Isn't it in the Constitution, right?
Yeah, but what does the Constitution mean anything when it comes to money? Does the Constitution mean anything when it comes to money? Obviously not. Look at what's going
on. Of course it has to.
Oh, it really does. Let's look at some. $400 million jet that goes to Trump.
Isn't that a gift?
Well, he says it went to the Department of the Army. Yeah, believe that. So it went. So he's going to get it so he can keep it in his library where there's no library, so he can fly it around where there's no library, right? So it's 400 million plus we as taxpayers have to pay 400, 500 million to fix the plane for him. Think about that. That's out of pocket. How come this 500 million isn't going to the farmers, Joe? How come nobody's getting that money? How come the small business people aren't getting that money? How come nobody's looking out for the regular people?
How is it not a gift to Trump if he gets to keep the plane after he leaves office?
Well, he says he's going to go to his library.
Because the library's going to fly a jet. Who is going to fly in the jet?
Well, but his library is going to fly the jet.
What?
It's going to be a flying library, I suppose.
I mean, this strains credibility.
It's beyond
Doesn't
straight.
make any sense.
Hey, Joe, let's take.
It's like in plain sight. Do people not care?
Think about this taking a step further, Joe. How about the Trump hotels that are going up in Saudi Arabia and in UAE and in Dubai? The Trump hotels. That money's going into their pockets. How about the big crypto group that Trump's sons and Litnick, the guy who's doing all the negotiating and thinks that he's seen the soul and loves Putin, that his son and the Trumps are building this big crypto group together that just got $2 billion from the I think the UAE or Qatar. $2 billion just pumped it. They bought their stuff. You know how much money's going into their pockets? This is incredible, and nobody cares. So while our economy starts going down, while Trump destroys our relationships with the rest of the world, he's taking the money and putting it into his pocket and everybody else who's his friend's pocket. And they don't care. And they say it's fine. It's okay. It's this. It's that. This is an attack. This is out and out corruption. And it can't be less than corruption. Sure it is. I'm waiting to get cut off again here, Joe, when that starts to go and again.
Corruption, we get cut
right, we get cut off. It'll start happening again. Right, because they want to cut off all our listeners we had. So, but what's happening? That's where it's going.
Wants to know: is it wrong giving a gift to your friend?
Who wants to know this?
Constitution.
This isn't a friend. This is a payoff to the leader of the United States. Dude, you don't think that the UAE is going to call Trump one day and say, I need some help, Trump. I gave you a plane. What are you going to do? Are you going to help me now? Or Qatar's going to call him and say, hey, guess what? We bought $2 billion of your stuff, of your coins, and we're invested in your crypto company. It's time for you to give us a hand.
Donald Trump, a model of honesty and integrity, would actually give somebody else a deal because somebody put money in his pocket?
Well, he's honest about it. He's honest about it.
But when you do corruption, but you're honest about it, does that make you an honest person?
People think it does. They say you see it, therefore it's transparency. Therefore it's not corruption. It's out and out corruption. They're putting it here in his pockets, putting all that cash in there. They talked about Hunter Biden. Hunter Biden was an addict. Okay, who had issues and snored on his father's money, on his father's name. I'm sorry. That's all he did. These guys, this is the president of the United States taking gifts. This is the president of the United States putting money in his pocket. This is the president of the United States setting up his whole family. This is his whole family taking all this cash. Trump this, Trump that, Trump this, Trump that. Where are the new Trump hotels in America? Have you heard any in America? Did you see what happened in Vietnam? They just okayed a big golf course for Trump in Vietnam. Even though it's against the law there, because they are afraid they want to make sure the tariffs aren't too high, they just agreed to a big golf course there, Joe. Think about that. That's what's going on. Trump's saying, you give me. What is the United States getting except a foot up the butt? What is the United States getting on Trump's trades? He hasn't done anything with Russia. All he's doing is let Russia keep smashing Ukraine. They did it again today. He's got no backbone with Russia. Either that or he was separated at birth. One doesn't know, okay? But you have these issues. How can he let them keep doing it? It's because he doesn't like Europe, I suppose. You know, with the 50% tariffs, he doesn't like Europe. He's complaining about the European Union. He makes a deal with Britain, but didn't I keep saying to you, we can't sell our meat to Britain because we chlorinate it and they don't want us to chlorinate it? And nobody talked about that. Suddenly it hits the paper the other day. Oh, we're not selling our meat, and Trump's bummed. You didn't know this, Mr. President? How come I knew it? You didn't know this. That's pretty weak. That's pretty weak. And it's really a bummer. So we sit here and I go, who is looking out for the American people? Who cares about the American people? I might tell you this, I ain't running for office, but I do. You're not running for office, but you do. But do you think the Trump administration cares? No. All they want to do is get people angry at each other. All they want to do is get people to yell at each other. All they want to do is to get people mad at each other. So instead, what?
People in bad positions, people who are in one down positions, he scapegoats them all the time.
Of course, and he turns it around so that people then come on them and bang on, and he plays this pointing game. You know, we go here, go after them, and it's like you don't have a chance unless you just have to come back at it. It's like really crazy. I mean, did you hear, you know, remember the news with the law firms? I was complaining about that, about how they were giving all that pro bono work to Trump to use, because Trump was, you know, trying to shut them down because he wouldn't let them have government approval to do their work. So he was shutting the law firms down. The law firms agreed to do pro bono work. Remember, I was telling you, it was like $100 million or $200. Now Trump's Greta Van Susteren is calling up, saying, I need one of my people to have help, and calling up the law firm, saying, hey, come on, law firm, you did pro bono. Come on over and help us out here. It's a veteran, and who knows what the truth is about anything. Now, all of a sudden, people are just going to start calling him up so they get all the free stuff. This is Trump. It's all Trump. It's all for President Trump. There is nothing for America. And that's what's so horrible about this. It's really, I mean, think about it. It's his meme coins were all bought by foreigners, the great majority of them. Doesn't that bother anybody? Doesn't that bother people to know these Chinese crypto guys are sitting at the table with them making a deal? Doesn't that bother anybody? If he sat down with Obama, you would have had a heart attack over it. If they sat down with Biden, you'd probably say he would have fallen asleep. You wouldn't have known the difference. But absent that, you wouldn't have been happy that he did it, okay? But Trump does this, and all of his friends, and all of his family, and it's billions of dollars. And who is getting money from who's getting money for the regular people? You hear anybody caring about him? How about some other examples? Trump believes in mind control. Mind control. Let's take over Harvard. Let's decide what we, the government, are going to teach people. This is 1984. Those of you who just heard of George Orwell, maybe you should read the book 1984. This is the government coming into a college or a university. I don't care what school it is. Coming in and saying, this is what you're going to teach. It isn't anti-Semitism. This is what you're going to teach. This is how you're going to mind control Americans. This is how you're going to brainwash Americans, because I have decided as the President of the United States that I want you to brainwash Americans.
How is this legal, Mark? How can one person, a president, tell a institution, 400-year-old institution, how to teach?
The problem
to hire, what students to admit. That doesn't seem that it could remotely be constitutional.
Once again, the problem you got is this, Joe. You got a president who is like, he knows how to use his power, okay? And I'm trying to move it in closer to you. He knows how to use his power. So he'll just use it and just be proactive. And when you're proactive, everybody else has to be reactive. That's the problem. So you got to react to him. So after he does it, then you file a lawsuit. It could take a while, you get it done. But every lawsuit's sitting there and you go, who's stopping them? I mean, if they stop sending people out of the country, look at this. How about the Afghanis? We all remember Afghanistan. And they all said that it was the Joe Biden blew Afghanistan. Remember? Didn't know, and the whole thing happened. Yet we took in people from Afghanistan who worked with, who fought with us, who fought with Americans. And now we're sending them back to Afghanistan, probably to real problems, to punishment, death, or whatever. We are taking people that fought with us, that stood with America. This is what Donald Trump is doing, that stood with America and is throwing them back to Afghanistan. This is what Marco Rubio is doing. All these guys, people who stand with the United States, are spit on. Why would you want to stand with the United States? This is why the end of the American century is here. This is why you can't be surprised if one day the black swan, we always worry about that black swan, that big bad event. Don't be surprised if one day these countries decide to gang up on the American dollar or the bonds just for fun for a few days to really play with our interest rates and to play with the value of our dollar because they're not going to care anymore. The dollar's going down in value. It doesn't matter. It's still the number one. And you hear these guys on CNBC, they're going, yeah, we're okay. We're still America. We're number one. Man. Not when people don't like you. Not when people hate you. Not when people who were your friends for 80 years think you're nothing more than dirt now. Not when they can't trust you.
Look at the white South Africans. We're bringing them in and helping to curb injustice there, right, Mark?
Yeah, real injustice. Trump lied like a dog. Look, I'm no South African fan. I don't like what they did at the ICC and how they're running around and doing that stuff, but it's their country. They haven't taken one white farm. And let me ask you something. We have something here in America, maybe you've heard of it. It's called eminent domain. You know what eminent domain is, right, Joe? Hopefully everybody else does. It means the government in America comes in and takes your property. They got to pay you what it's supposedly worth, and they take your property. They go to court and take your property. Well, that's what he's yelling about the South Africans. The government comes in and takes the property. I don't know if the judiciary is as strong there, but here it's called eminent domain. Is Trump mad about eminent domain? Of course not. Trump tried to get some lady when he was building his casinos, his casino in Atlantic City, if you remember, Joe. And there was one lady who was holding out, and he was fighting her and trying to offer her money and had to build around her because he couldn't get eminent domain on her.
All those pictures of people in body bags. All this genocide going on.
There weren't.
When you kill people.
No, I think that happened in Chad. They showed the picture, right? That's a different African country. I think it was Chad. They showed the picture and then showed where it came from a different country. So everything Trump was putting up was jive.
The South African president by showing pictures from Chad and claiming that it's your government killing white South Africans. Right.
Was another, and they also talked about these crosses that were all on the ground and these backups of the cars. I don't think those were all graves. I think it was a procession people were going to, and they were all in honor of someone. Okay, but they haven't been killing people. They haven't been taking them down. It just hasn't happened. In fact, the South African president gave the right answer. He said, "I wish I had a plane to give you," which I thought was a great line.
So that's the problem with countries giving planes to Trump, is that they'll look the other way, that they can kill their Chigogi or whatever his name was, the journalist, and they look up the other way. But if you don't give him a plane, then he's going to accuse you of genocide. Well,
that is maybe, but you got to remember, I think it's Qatar who did the Qatar. UAE gave him the plane. It wasn't South. But Saudi Arabia.
Giving him enough money through other means.
Right, they're pumping cash into him. They buy his stuff. They
do whatever you want, so long as you pump cash into his pocket.
That's all that matters.
If you don't take his bribe, I mean, I've seen this movie before. Okay, I'm Italian, I'm Sicilian, and I've seen this movie before. That somebody says, "You got a nice business here. It's a shame if something to happen was to happen to it. I'll be back next week, and you give me an envelope."
Right.
That's what this is about.
Of course it is.
This is extortion.
Edward,
extortion.
But it's for him. Edward, why is Trump so good? Tell me. I say I agree with you with our military men and women. We support them, but why does Trump put all this money in his pocket? It's not coming to you. It's not coming to you. And then Joshua, who's not paying attention to the world, we're paying attention to the world closely. We see Trump tearing apart America and tearing apart the rest of the world. 80 years, it was great. Really. I just don't know who's like Joe. I don't know, but Joe, I don't know if these guys are talking to me or you, Joe.
The View, by the way?
No, I never watched The View.
Yeah, so I have all your information from The View.
I never watched it. I don't know what's on The View. I'm sorry. I work during the day. I don't watch The View. Maybe these people watch The View. I work, guys. I work. There's a difference. The View. Who knows what The View says? What does America need, Edward? America needs money. America needs people to be able to help us. The View 2.0. What's The View? I get lost on this stuff. The missing too much. What info am I missing, Joshua? Tell us what info you're watching. Dirty Money. If you saw all my stuff and go on, I watch Fox, CNN, and MSNBC. I watch them all. You got to. I read the Journal. Sure, you got to learn the whole thing. If you don't watch all sides, you're lost, Dirty. If you just watch Fox, you're lost. That's the problem. It was not the problem. He is not. I don't know what Young Fresh is talking about. It was not great. It wasn't great. 80 years? Young, where did you live? Did you live in Russia and you didn't think the last 80 years were great? What are you talking about? Incredible research, incredible medicine, incredible economies. People made big money, air conditioning, heat, housing. What are you talking about? You would think you lived in some third world country. This is the greatest country in the world, Young. I'm sorry. You guys come on and act like we live in some jive. This is the greatest country in the world. Don't you come on. Oh, you can come on here and try to badmouth America, but don't tell me how bad America is, because it was really pretty cool, okay? Cancel habeas corpus. Dirty. You don't even know what habeas corpus is. Did you hear that Christy Nome said that habeas corpus, did you hear her definition of habeas corpus, Joe?
Yeah.
Did you hear what it was? Her definition of habeas corpus was...
The president can deport whoever he wants.
That's what it
is. Stupidity.
I mean, think about this. These people are sitting here. That's what she does. This is our head of national intelligence or whatever, Homeland Security. She's beyond an idiot. She's the one who shot the dog, has all the mouth work done, has all the face done to show everybody, had to wear her Rolex watch down at the prison in El Salvador. She gets on TV all the time. She is like, I'm telling you too much. She has no idea. This is the person who has no idea what habeas corpus is. So why do you talk about it if you have no idea, right? Yeah, I do. I really love it, Joshua. This is a great country. Really? Well, I'm sorry, C Unit. You know what's great is people talk about it, but you're not giving us examples. What is Donald Trump that's doing so good? Tell me. What is Donald Trump doing well, guys? You're coming back on us. You're coming on. I'm not an old rich guy. I'm old. I'm white. And I'm telling you how America was. Well, what did you grow up, Young, for the last 20 years? I mean, come on. It isn't that great. Where would you rather live, Young? Tell me. Why didn't you move? If you didn't like it here, then move. It's really simple. You get on a plane, you get a visa, and you move. I keep seeing that back there, Joe. I'm really bummed. You move. It's really simple, okay? I won't read if I type it dirty. I've been reading your stuff and talking about you. You're not coming up with anything, okay? That's right. I like that, Dark. You got rid of paper straws. I don't like paper straws at all. The plastic straws are definitely better, but they're killing all the fish. But still, I mean, hey, Dirty, we're not crying. We love our country. We're talking about our country. We're inviting you to come on and talk. Not only did I get cut off after the first 15 minutes, right, JoJo, and I got cut off, but we came back to talk to you. We came back after we got cut off. It's crazy. What trade agreements? Give me one. I don't know. If you've watched any of the news, no, you're lost. If you watch any of the news, you got to learn. You got to read. You got to understand. If you don't do that, you're stuck. More I cannot think of. Dark Games, what are you thinking of? Yes, you're right. Nothing else with the plastic straws. That's about all it is. Here we go. You see, Unit, what are they saying? I follow the policies. It's what we do. You have to see what they're doing. He wakes up, decides he's going to raise the tariffs. No, I'm sorry. Everybody's missing it. Billions to Venezuela. He didn't send them. What are you talking about? For trans parades? Okay, Dirty. I'm sorry. It was enjoyable speaking with you. Let's keep going with this with the politicians, okay? Who's making the money here as this market's going, as the economy gets worse, as inflation goes up, as prices go up, as things just get a little bit tighter as we go along and keep moving forward? Who's making the money? Well, we know the Trumps are. We know the rich people are the Trumps are. But you know who else are? All the politicians, Joe. Democrat and Republican. It doesn't make a difference. Those guys can still trade stocks. Did you see all the money Marjorie Taylor Greene made weeks ago when Trump did his thing and went up and down? Marjorie Taylor Greene made more money than anybody I know. I don't know. She just did very well. Okay, why are Congress people allowed to trade stocks? So they know what's coming on. So who else is making the money? Let's look at this. Everybody, you guys, you all talk like Trump's doing something. He isn't. He's just taking his hand and putting it into the feed stream and saying, well, if you politicians are going to put it in your pocket, I'm going to put it in mine. That's all that's going on here. Understand. So we sit back and we go, what are we going to do? You got to call it out. You got to say, what are you doing for Americans? What are you doing for Americans? Okay? I want to hear it. I don't see it. I don't see anything good for America he's done so far. They play the markets. And let me ask you this. When interest rates go up, who makes the money? The lenders. Okay? And then the rich people make the money. Now, look, it's nice to be able to make interest when you're making nothing in 1 or 2%, but still, it's making it tough. And what are you going to do? Let me ask you, Joe, how many people you know could go out and pay 7.25% for a mortgage? Or 7.10 for a mortgage? Those who think that interest rates haven't spiked. So you pay that, and then you pay the high price for the house. You know there's no housing being sold right now. Nobody's buying houses. It's down. There are no holes being put in the ground. There's really not that much ground to put holes in. People want to have housing, but people are staying in their leases because they're getting handled there because it's too expensive to go and buy a house. It's too expensive to borrow for a house. So you're stuck in the lease so all the rich guys can keep pumping their leases, raise your lease payments so they can put the money in their pocket. So tenants get handled. Isn't that great? Look at this. It's all regular people getting bummed, getting hurt. Yet for some reason, they're supporting this guy. You got to sit back and say, who is getting hurt in America? It's regular people. It's farmers. It's employees. It's small business. It's eggs. I broke one last week. You saw what I did with that thing, okay? I had a little smile on my egg. That's what he wants to do. He breaks the egg and says, hey, I'm going to put it back together again. We've got that. And then he wants to may have mind control. And I'm telling you, it's mind control. Think about mind control. Think about being... It's
propaganda.
Right, it's propaganda. It's mind control. And please give us thumbs up, even if you don't agree with us. We like you. We're talking to you. We sure do interface with our people, with our commentators, and with our community. We love you. So please give us thumbs up. I beg for it, because why not? It doesn't cost anything. It's just a little... Then go for it. Doesn't mean you like me. It means you like what we're doing for you because we like you putting it out here and we love our commentators and we love all you guys. Thank you all very much. But where do we get the mind cut? So let me ask you, if you go to a school and you like that school and all of a sudden the president comes in and says, I don't like the school you're going to, so I'm going to tell that school what to teach you. How would you feel, Joe?
It can't be constitutional. It can't be legal. That's all I have to say. That it makes no sense. That when you take away freedom for teaching what you believe is right, when you take away the academic freedom, when you take away the freedom to express yourself on YouTube, this is not our country. And you know what's a shame is it's Memorial Day weekend. It's a chance for us to remember people who gave their lives to make this country free. And here we are, we're losing it. And we're not losing it because some external foreign power is attacking us. We're losing it because we're allowing someone to come in and take away our freedoms right before our eyes. And that's what this channel is all about, is protecting people's freedom. It's about speaking out loudly against what we see going on in plain sight. And that's all we're saying here. So in this Memorial Day weekend, let's not just remember the people who gave their lives for our freedom, but think about what we can do to preserve that freedom. That's the best way we can honor those folks who gave their lives for this country.
That's correct. We're being funded and run by a man of fact interests making us workers, not thinkers. I don't understand that call to action. People are workers, not thinkers. There are a lot of thinkers. Thinkers, you guys are thinkers. Call to action, you put your thoughts down there. Of course people can think. Nobody stopped thinkers. What we're stopping is people who think certain things. Because when the Trump administration, the Trump people, the MAGAs, said that they were being muzzled, they have now turned around and done it times 10 on everybody else. Because they're coming in and saying, we don't like what you're saying, therefore you can't use and utilize the First Amendment. You can't stand up for your rights to speak out. And why not? Why is President Trump afraid to let Harvard teach what it wants to teach? And because people are paying to go there. And let's get this straight. So let's get something else understood too. When the war in Ukraine started, the thing you know how I feel about Russia, it's all over there. I'm not going to get into that here. But what I really pointed out then was the brain drain. So many people left Russia. So many people left Russia just to get out of there. They're really smart people to go to other countries so they can work in other countries, whether it was in Poland or Romania or Finland or Sweden or any of the other countries around there. They wanted to go there to be with friends, to be able to learn, to be able to think, to be able to read. Well, what is happening here? Trump is pushing out all of our researchers by shutting down all the research, and he has shut down a lot of it. And just because, remember, just because they say they restart the research doesn't mean it gets started right away again, because you've lost so many. But we have shut down so much research that researchers don't want to come to America anymore. Don't we want the smartest people here? Don't we want the smartest people come to America? Why do we want to throw out the smartest people in America? Why do we want to tell people from other countries, don't come to America because we're just going to put you in jail? We don't want smart people here. We just don't want anything because we don't want to get better, because we are no longer the land of the free and home of the brave, because we're afraid to get better, because we're afraid to learn more. What is wrong with this? We're letting it all go. Research, and think about it. We have an HHS secretary, Robert Kennedy, who's willing to put his head and go deep down into a polluted stream and put his grandchildren in there. That's what we have leading this country. We have a head of Homeland Security who doesn't know what the law means, but comes out and quotes it like she knows it. We have a press secretary who is totally lost. But the idea, the approach is just get in your face and just say what you want to say and say it and say it and say it. And you got to push back. And that's why we are pushing back. And that's why we like all of our commentators. And that's why we love all this stuff. I'll tell you this, though, just very quickly. I want to note something. I'm not off. Even though we're going to be going very soon to get into it. But I have to hit again where we are, guys. Devo, De-Evolution, a great album. I say it all the time. I hate it, but you should get the album. The music's great. We are snails with little tails. Devo, we are going backwards. We are de-evolving. America isn't evolving any longer. America is de-evolving. And before we get to our album of the week, which is a little bit later, I just want to note to everybody, because Joe missed it last week. Wednesday's was In the Court of the Crimson King. I just wanted to throw that out. What a great album. We'll be back. We'll be back to our album of the week in a second. But what a great album. I just wanted you to know what we were thinking about with that kind of stuff. Meanwhile, where do we stand in our defense? Do we have any defense? They're talking about space. Okay, I agree. We need to worry about our space defense, and we have to do all that. But where are we going to come up with the money to make sure that all happens? If we're going to be raising trillions of dollars to put in the pockets of wealthy people in this country so they can take our money, so they can take from us, where are we going to go? Where's our protection? What are we going to do? Where do we stand? I don't know. Joe, how are you feeling? And let me throw this. Tourism bookings are down. Right, exactly, Bryn Mawr builders. Nobody's coming here anymore. Nobody's got like Bryn Mawr builders. Nobody like everybody, but I like Bryn Mawr. Nobody's going to give thumbs up to Bryn Mawr double. Nobody's coming here anymore. Why do they want to come here? They don't want to spend their money here. They can't trust coming. They may not be allowed to go back home. They make it jail because they came here and said the wrong thing when they're walking down the street buying some ice cream or something.
Venezuela.
Right.
Venezuelan prison.
Well, they'll send them there. They're not even Venezuelan. How about all the Venezuelans are sending to El Salvador? I mean, it's just, and they just lie about everything. And they come into court and lie to the court. It's just not a good situation. And people have to understand. Pat Paulson. Yeah, Pat Paulson. I love Pat Paulson. I thought I wasn't old enough to vote for him when he ran for president. But man, he was a great comedian. Anybody wants to see him? What was it, Laughing? Was he Laughing, Joe? And he ran it from Laughing when he ran for president. Go and look at Laughing. Was a great TV show. just incredibly funny. It was one of the first where they just went out and just blew out, and people went, wow. It was sock it to me, sock it to me. It was really great. But Pat Paulson ran for president, the comedian. I would have voted for him. He was great. He had a really, really, really great platform. He was
up on YouTube.
He really. It sure is. It's a lie without evidence. It's dumb and annoying the real truth. Joshua, what's I'm missed. High speed jets working overtime, sending illegals home. I'm happy to hear that, high speed. The problem is we're finding out a lot of these people aren't illegal. We're finding out they're just sending people out because they just want to send people out. And it's not because they're illegal, it's just because they want to. There are a lot of them that are, there are a lot of them that are criminals, but there's some that aren't, and they're just sticking them in and throwing them out. How about the kids they threw out, high speed? How about the kids they threw out, high speed? How about the one that had cancer, high speed? You see, that's the problem. You can't just sit here and say everything is gone. It's stand-up comedy, high speed. Tell me about this. I'd like to hear it. Why did we send American kids out of the country and one had cancer and didn't give him the cancer treatments he needed? Okay, that's the problem. They're like, yeah, I'm riffing. I love to riff, Joshua. We're telling it to, they're illegal. Americans aren't illegal, high speed. It's no problem. I think we're dealing with somebody here, not from America, Joe, who doesn't understand American law. What do you think, Joe? They sent Americans out who were American citizens. No question about it. No question about it. And send them without cancer, but that's okay because they're not Americans. This guy just decided they're not Americans. It doesn't work that way. It just doesn't. Now I'm gonna get this kind of rocky. Yeah, that 198 gas. Good question, Bryn Mawr. $1.98 gas. Tell me where that is. That gas is coming from somewhere else, and it ain't real gas. It ain't liquid gas. Let's put it that way. So you sit there. We care. All we care about is here now. We broke, okay? We had one, I think we were at 15 minutes, and then we're here. I'm not sure we are time-wise overall, but I can tell you this. We love this country, and we love you. And we're going to be here Wednesday, as every Wednesday, just to keep you up to date, to let you know, every Sunday at this time at 11, every Wednesday at 5, because we are not afraid. We got cut off today. I'm sure it's just some jive. But we got cut off today earlier. We came back. We're not going to back down, and we're going to come in, and we care, and we got ideas. Like, let me give you an example. How about housing? You think we should sell Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac? I've talked about housing. Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac are the bedrock of our housing. You take Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac take loans. They bundle them, and they sell them as bonds on the market and guarantee the interest. Okay, so people buy those bonds, which kind of keeps the 30-year mortgage at a certain number, or helps do it, and the other and shorter term 15-year mortgage, even though it's all based on the 10-year bond. But it has to do with that. So now what they want to do is Fannie Mae is pumping real money into the government. Freddie Mac is pumping real money into the government. Major money. Understand this. They went under. They got bought out during 2007, 2008, and they have been pumping cash into America. So what happened? The really rich guys, these private equity guys we're talking about, went in and bought the stock of Fannie and Freddie for like $2, $3, maybe even less. I don't know. And they wanted to come public. They wanted to be sold from the government so they could take their stock and make zillions on their stock and put it out there. Not to help Americans, not to help you or me or our kids or anybody else who wants to help get a loan, but to help themselves. Don't walk away from this. Think about this. Billions of dollars if Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac that could go into the pockets of these rich people instead of staying in American pockets. And then what happens if we sell Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, or it goes public, or whatever they do? There's no guarantee on the loans any longer, right, Joe? So now you know you got a government guarantee, so you're an investor, you're going to buy these loans, but now you're saying to them the government isn't guaranteeing these loans anymore. So what do you think they're going to do to the interest rates? The interest rates are going to go up, but who cares, right? It doesn't matter what happens to regular Americans. All that matters is what happens to people who got the cash. And that's why we put this stuff out there. You've got to see it. You've got to understand what is going on here. The money is getting sucked out of Americans and getting sucked up. They used to talk about the trickle-down theory. I call it the vacuum up theory, though there are other words for it, where they're taking our cash and they're pumping it up. to the Trump administration, to the Trump family, to all these other politicians and all these people who are taking our money and are giving us nothing. Zero. Nothing. Okay? That's where we stand. Thank you, Norma. Norma, I agree with you too. I love it. And let me tell you, I love all of you guys. Yep, sucked up, high speed. Sucked up. Okay? Money's getting sucked up, not trickling down, which is what they used to talk about. And who's getting hurt? Regular people, Americans, our farmers. Look at our farmers. All of you who don't think our farmers aren't having issues, tell them to come on our channel here on Wednesday at 5, Wednesday at 5 or here today at 11 and tell us how good they have it. Bring some of those farmers on because I want them to tell us how badly the Trump administration has treated them, even after they backed them. After they backed them. Pelosi is just as bad, Pinnacle. My position is she shouldn't be able to trade stock either. We were talking about that. That's what it is, okay? And here it is, the Trump meme coin. Yeah, everybody lost money on the Trump meme coin, Bryn Mawr. What happened to the Trump meme coin? They said it came out at like 18 cents and made big money for like 2 hours or 3 hours. Then the rich guys sold it out to all the dummies who came in to buy it. And the regular people have a meeting. Got a picture of Trump and a picture of maybe Melania too. Worthless. But the guys who made it worth something went in and bought millions and went and had dinner, a horrible dinner, it looked like, at Mar-a-Lago the other night. So they could call Donald Trump all of these foreigners here in America buying Trump out, owning Trump. That's where we're going. That's what it looks like it's going to. That's what it looks like. Remember, Trump wouldn't even give the name of the people who were at this fundraiser, at his main fundraiser, Joe. Not only that, he took the position, it's his personal time. What is a president at personal time? Oh, something's happening, forget it. Call me later. I'm at dinner. I got personal time I got to deal with. I don't have to worry about you. I got personal time. Oh, I'm the president. Don't give me a call. Why should you call me? I'm off. I get a few hours off. Right. That's the kind of stuff. That's the stuff.
It's in plain sight. That's what I can't figure out. You can see it in plain sight. And all I would ask you is, if a Democrat was doing this sort of thing, what would you say?
Exactly.
And you know, Fox News would be all over it. Would be all over it. That's the question. Why do you defend this guy?
Right.
It's in perfect plain sight what he's doing, and we're letting it happen.
Joshua, you're so wrong. Joe knows what he's talking about, Joshua. Wrong.
Time to figure out, where do you stand? Or do you want to see, as Mark says, the money being sucked up into increasingly smaller percent of the population, the rich folks, and away from people who are mostly middle class?
Right.
From people who are starting their own business.
Right.
I don't think that's America that we want. I don't think the people who died for this country, that's what they died for. That's all I'm saying.
I don't know. I'm Mark. I'm not Mike Lindell. We haven't been asked that in a long time, Joe.
Oh my goodness. Look how long it took for someone
It took a while.
to give us a pillow guy reference.
I always said I was better looking than Mike Lindell, but they ain't saying nothing because he ain't good looking and I ain't good looking. So they ain't saying nothing either way. It doesn't matter. Okay? But you're so right. And it's just dying is a process of evolution. Joshua and Jennifer, we are de-evolving. Understand, guys, we're not moving up. We're moving down. We're moving back. We're going to yesterday, and it's really bad, and it's not good. But let's do this. Let's have a little fun here. You know how I feel about music. And, it's just so important that you listen to music, you enjoy music, you just do things because, what happens is we all kind of get worked up on these commentaries and we go after each other and start. I mean, we really don't go after you, but it's so nice because sometimes you sit back and you go, I love our country, I love our people, I love our friends, and I love music, and we try to give you music every week. Now, of course, you know how I feel about Devo because it's de-evolution and that's more political and I'm playing that, but gosh, what a great album. Are We Not Men? If you don't get this album, you're making a big mistake. Last week, I brought out one of the greatest albums of all time, Wednesday, in the Court of the Crimson King. I got to bring you up to date on that. What a great album. They called it prog. What's prog? We grew up, it was called rock. Wasn't it called rock, Joe? How do everybody call it prog?
What's it from?
Prog, progressive prog. Jive progressive.
Progressive music?
It ain't progressive. It was rock. Look at that. bald spot there. I hate it. So I can't do much about it. So let's do a little bit more. So we also, back then, we believed there was just music was just great. So I want to throw something at you that was the zeitgeist. That was the absolute zeitgeist. You have zeitgeist, meaning whatever's the hottest thing. I mean, really, really hot. Like, what was hot? You get different people. What was her name? Come on, I'm having trouble. Kelsey's girlfriend. Come on, who's the big singer? Come on. Swift. Taylor Swift. Big, gigantic. She was the zeitgeist, okay? Well, back when we were growing up, hair was the zeitgeist. You wanted to grow hair, and the issue was the Vietnam War and whether you're going to get called in and how you did it. And everybody kind of talked to each other through music because you only had TV news for like a half hour a night. You had Time, Newsweek. That was about it. You just kind of went back and forth. Well, I'm going to show you the zeitgeist of what was happening back in the late 60s, 1968. Hair. What this album did, Joe didn't say much. What it did to me was blew me away. The songs off of this album became #1 everywhere. Everywhere. You take these songs off of here. Aquarius, gigantic by the Fifth Dimension, right?
Age of Aquarius.
Right. Hair. Everybody, Cowsills, everybody did Hair, gigantic. Good Morning Starshine, Good Mornings, incredible amount of music one year. This was the zeitgeist. And when you listen to Hair, you understand what was going on. It was 68, people were dying, the Vietnam War was going on, but the music had never hit Broadway. And Broadway was always basic stuff, My Fair Lady, all that. And all of a sudden, Hair came, and it was Hair, and it was young people, and everybody's going, I went, my parents took me, I couldn't believe it. And at the end of the show, you run up, and you dancing with everybody. I wasn't the first, I was always the guy kind of waiting to let other people kind of move first sometimes. And then we were up there dancing, having a great time. I was on a Broadway stage, I can't dance, and we were dancing to the band. It was a band, it was incredible, Hair. And you just listen, and I'm telling you, this is not loud, it's like me. It's more like Joe. Laid back. But the music, you just listen to it. It's a story of a guy who's going to be going to Vietnam, going to be drafted. But it doesn't matter. What matters is the music. And you have to listen to each song as it follows. Don't break up into different songs. If you want to break up into different songs, listen to the 45s that the other groups broke off in. You want to listen to Fifth Dimension? Let the Sun Shine. It is absolutely a tremendous song. But in here, let it come on when it comes on. And listen to this album. And it just takes you over. It just takes you over. And let me tell you something. It was America then. And look how much prices were. $3.97 for this album. $3.97 in 1968 at Luskin's. So that's where you went. That's where I went for my albums then. Went down to Pimlico and picked them up. $3 something. Wow. But incredible. And all I can tell you is this. We talk about this, our music, our politics, our friendship, of our love for our country. Okay? And that's how we feel. And our love for you guys. And I just have to say it. We appreciate you coming on. We hope you show us and share us with other people. We hope you tell other people about us. As you can see, we don't care if you agree or disagree. We love you. We love everyone. We love our country, and we're going to stand up for our country, and we're not going to back down. And we are here, and we don't care. We'll agree with Trump when he's right, but we'll take him on when he's wrong because we're not afraid. We're old. Who cares? We'll see you Wednesday at 5. And if you're square, we don't go there. And thanks for coming back. We got cut off at the beginning, and we're back, so this is like beautiful. And that's the way it is, Joe.
Period.
We will see ya next Wednesday. Thanks for coming.